Welcome back to Switch to Linux. Well, we're going to talk about the birth of Skynet. Somebody should tell the government, just give the government a copy of, Terminator to watch. I don't know, something like that. But anyway, well, it's the summertime, and so pretty much everyone's out on vacation, working late, doing whatever else, and I'm not sitting in front of the computer one more time, so it's just me and Dan right now. The guy that sets his own schedule and the guy that's semi-retired, right? So why not? How's it going, Dan?
Okay. I'm just reading this article you sent out about Skynet. It's got me kind of puzzled, scared, and worried all at the same time.
Yeah, that's I was talking to somebody the other day, and he was saying this older guy at his church was saying, man, should we worry about this climate change stuff? The guy's like 65, 70 years old. He's like, dude, don't worry about it. Even if the best case scenario in AOC is right and the world's going to end in 12 years, unless the Green New Deal is passed, you're still the end of your life anyway, brother. But anyway, I don't know. Ash and Snap, the Banana Man is here. How's it going there? Five Fists and Clarions, hello there. Not shocked at all. Yep. Supersonic Boy, this sounds very scary. Clock the frickin', how's it going there, Mr. Clock? 200, okay. It's finally starting. Now I can see my... Yeah. KO2610, your number has been called. C's very own, hello to you. Bob the Hopper, how's it going there, Mr. Bob? Sinisa, how's it going there? Q1 Fiend, greetings. Do you have the link, Q1 Fiend? I sent those out already. Cat Gamer, greetings to you. Hello, Ricky. How's it going there? Long live Skynet. Hail to the T-1000. May as well. Yeah. Did you know, on Terminator 2, was it? Oh, what's the guy's name? Oh, the actor that played the T-1000. I forget his name now. What's Robert something, right? Saying Robert Stack, but no, that's not right. That was the Unsolved Mystery.
The one that was the liquid metal guy?
Yeah. Whatever his name was. He was that was one of his earliest movies, and he was like a super athletic guy. And they didn't really know that, but in the casting, when the scene where he's shooting the pistol down there, he's and then drops the thing and reloads it in a second. That was actually how fast he could actually do that. And the other scene when he's chasing John down through there, he actually caught up with him on his mini bike. That dude was super fast at everything he could do in real life. They actually had him slow some things down in the scene because he kept on catching up to the dirt bike. It was quite fascinating. But yeah, anyway, let's see. Big Pod, how's it going there? So this is a patron-only live chat because, well, the topic, if it's just patron, it's a huge echo chamber. These are generally patron-only streams. In the summer, I don't know, I might open them up to a few more people just because nobody else is there. So if you'd like to jump on Big Pod, shoot me a link on the contact form. We can get you on. Hey, how's it going there? Oh, I think you're muted there, Ben. But hey,
I'm
nothing
here.
super wrong with
Ben.
echo chambers, though. I mean... Let's test the echo chamber, shall we? Echo.
Echo.
Can you hear me?
Hey, that didn't echo. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay.
Robert Patrick, thank you. That's right. Thank you, KLT610. Appreciate that. All right. Joseph Judah, don't worry about Skynet. It has short batteries like our smartphones and laptops. That's right.
You never know. We might not get Terminators. We might get Cylons instead.
Well, I mean, it's a whole variety. There's actually that old theory that a lot of our science fiction actually comes from time travelers who are preparing us for the coming aeon. Ever hear that story?
That's something your reptilian alien race would know about.
Yeah, I am actually have unfortunately been instructed not to comment on that. So, but anyway, but we are gearing up for that Area 51 raid. We have confirmed we have 2 friends in there, so we're gonna be in there trying to get our 2 friends out. So that's where we're there. I mean, we're not there for all the rest of the storm. We're not there for anything else. We're just going in. But we're actually going to be disguised. We're going to be disguised as our hidden lizard people. And so being disguised as hidden lizard people, when the military comes out and flashes back, first they're doing the noise cannons. We know that already. Those don't affect us. But, all the other stuff, we're going to be slithering in behind everybody. So we're gonna be in and out. No problem, but I don't know. Anyone else going? Ben, are you going to the Area 51 raid?
No, but I'm gonna make popcorn and watch it happen.
All right, that's a good thing to do. If you're not going, definitely watch it. Somebody's got to be live streaming that stuff, and it's gonna be really hilarious, quite honestly. Isn't Skynet a satellite that was launched in 1969? Possibly. This project actually started back about then. All right. Any other initial comments before we get started? Should we even record this or not? I don't know. We just keep this as a long live stream, I guess. Oh, Pizza's going to have his birthday party on September 20th and make it Area 51 themed. All right, man. All right. I'll send a spaceship to your house. All right. So, shall we jump on in, gentlemen?
Sure.
Sure.
All right. So, of course, if you head on over or you grab the article from The Verge, I don't always read The Verge, by the way. I realized the last couple articles were Verge. It's just that they just had the most compelling and most detailed information. Now, am I alone in looking at this picture here? Does anybody else kind of see the machine from 9? Anyone else see the machine from 9 in this thing? I mean, I realize it's more 4-point symmetrical than 3-point, but still, doesn't it have that vibe to it? Maybe it's that flashing eye in the middle. Will draw you
If anybody played the old NES Captain Skyhawk game, it looks just like the final boss for that.
Oh, really? I've never played that. I'm trying to think, what other games, like, let's see, Contra was an alien. What was the final? No, that was a Heart and the Worm in Life Force. I don't know. It does look like something you'd encounter on Nintendo. But anyway, this is a new AI that's being developed by the United States Intelligence Program, and it is sentient. All right, Ben. The United States government is making a sentient AI. Initial reactions.
That's probably a touch overblown.
Touch overblown?
Yeah, I think they're pushing
I severely
it past the
question
limit.
whether or not it can question its existence.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Ben or Dan?
From what I've read of the article, this can't be anything really good for us when it comes down to its ability to do surveillance and make mistakes, and then execute instructions on the mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so those are some good points. So what would happen if we were to take a supercomputer and feed it the ability to do all this AI? We're talking like the quantum computers. Could we get into this type of true sentience, or do we think we're always stuck inside the realm of data?
I mean, we work.
Mm-hmm. So what? So going back to the Skynet, of course, from Terminator 2. What would it take for something to become, quote, self-aware, if you follow that storyline? What would self-aware machine be like?
Something that's willing to not let itself be turned off or discontinued or allowed to die.
Okay.
I think that's pretty as close as you can get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like Ben's comment indicating something like, can it question its own existence? That, when you get a computer to question its own existence, I think that's kind of problematic.
I mean, I think it's pretty easy to get a machine to protect its power sources and its ability to keep doing whatever it was programmed to do. But it's a different philosophical question to ask whether or not the machine is sentient.
Mm-hmm.
If the machine has a general will to actually protect itself.
Right, if it has a favorite color, does it prefer Ford or Chevy? All that stuff.
Yeah.
Those are human problems, but
Yep. Yeah, I mean, they could be vehicle problems. So anyway, from what I read on the article, sentient may not be the best description, but something that will gather something that has a much wider data pool is definitely what is in order. And so, yeah, sentient, I think, is the wrong word for this, for sure. But this thing, it makes decisions on a lot more data inputs than any other device. That's kind of what I read into it. Does anybody else get that out of the article?
Oh, that's pretty much how I read it too. The language they were using was a little bit over the top to describe it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which probably if you're The Verge and you really don't like the current United States government, you're probably going to do everything to paint it in a bad light. But of course, which one of us United States citizens does not want to paint our government in a bad light? It's like, but anyway, let's see. Big Pod, I did send the link back out to you, and it looks like you are on a Gmail account, so check your spam folder. Oftentimes
it does say on here it collects information from multimedia activity, broadcasts, and things of that nature.
Correct.
And then it sifts through it all and then gives you an output on what it's received.
Correct. And I think that's
and
one
in
of the
some
biggest...
cases, I believe it was recommendations as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think there's two factors here that are the most concerning. Number one is this is basically set up as a giant global, pool that, in reality, as a giant global pool, collects way more information than the United States government can under the Constitution. But number two is when it starts making those recommendations, because then what happens is if somebody's not ultimately liable for those recommendations, then anybody can just allow the thing to do whatever it wants and say, oh, it's rubber stamped by a human. And rubber stamping by a human is a problematic thing, I think.
There's always the potential that something like this can get hacked as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's something to take into consideration.
Yeah. All right.
Well, and just like the Teslas that run people over or crash into objects, who's liable when it does something wrong that causes some kind of damage, monetary or otherwise?
Yeah, and that's for me one of my biggest concerns with that is somebody's got to be liable for the technology, and I'm not a Luddite, I have a lot of technology. I want to go into every single piece of technology I use, understanding the benefits and the risks. And I think that's something we all have to do. We all have to be thinking in those terms. Every piece of technology has benefits and risks. Hello, is that you, Big Pod?
Hello.
How's it going, man?
Hey, Big Pod.
Hey.
It's going okay.
All right. What are your initial thoughts on this article? And I realize you probably didn't get a chance to read it. My supporters get a copy of the article first.
I did find it myself and did check it out. And the first thought was the part about it's sentient. It's nowhere near sentient, in my opinion.
And let's go ahead and say, again, Verge does very, very sensational things. Sentient is actually the name of this project. So by saying it's sentient, it doesn't mean the technology itself is sentient.
Yeah.
Sentient is the name of the technology.
Yeah. Figured that out quickly myself when I was going around reading about it.
Hey, we got to build into this stuff, I mean, really.
Yeah.
And so I gotta find. Let me know if somebody can find the spot where it does talk about decisions. Of course, like in AI, it is very biased, which is problematic.
It's biased based on its data.
Correct, and not just its data, but also its input.
What data you feed it what data creator prefers, it will be biased towards that.
Correct. Not
And-
only the data fed it though, but also the data that the algorithms, the code used to program it is also a bias.
The programmer who does it kind of does his own biases into it.
Yeah. So, of course, what we're talking about with the amount of data you input, I'm sure you're familiar with predpol, right?
Not
else?
exactly.
Anyone else familiar with predpol specifically?
Not specifically.
Okay. Ben, any ideas?
No idea.
Okay, so predpol is the AI police force. It's an abbreviation for predictive policing, and the predpol was released in several different places. And the idea is to take all the data that you give it, and then it's going to do predictions as to where the crime is going to be. And then the idea is the predpol application tells the police where and when to go and patrol. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Predpol always increased the police activity in black neighborhoods. Raises this question. So the question thus becomes, is the police presence being increased in the black neighborhoods because there's more crime, or is the police being increased in the black neighborhoods because they're black neighborhoods? And that's what that ultimate question is. And the data is out there that there are actually more instances of crime in those neighborhoods, which does increase the police presence, but now we are opening ourselves up to a case of potential racism. And that's a case where the data input into the AI gave it results that may or may not have been biased.
Although in a situation like that too, the AI could put itself in a positive feedback loop.
Correct.
Whereby it patrols the same place over and over, and so those are the only places it sends things. So in the case of the predictive policing, if it sends to a neighborhood it knows there's going to be crime, those are the only crimes it's going to find.
Yeah. Problem is, if it uses historical data, it will find more data about actual crimes committed in black areas, since those were crime hotspots. That used to be crime hotspot because it was such time. That's why it keeps more of a watch over those areas than white populated areas. Even though nowadays there is no real difference between white and black populated areas, unless there is huge gang war activity, which is when police already knows that there might be problems happening, so they keep a closer eye anyway.
Correct. And to Ben's point, if 90% of your police are in black neighborhoods and 10% of your police are in white neighborhoods, surprise, you're going to find more crime reported in black neighborhoods. It's how science works. So, but this does raise questions about the statistics, because the actual scientific statistics do indicate that crime is higher in black neighborhoods. Is it higher in black neighborhoods because there's more police there, or is it higher in black neighborhoods because they commit more crime? It seems as though, according to the science, and there is a ton of science about this, it seems as though what happens is they both kind of do equal amounts of crime, but you do find more violent crime, what you'd call more like blue collar crime in a black neighborhood. You find a lot more white collar crime in a white neighborhood, meaning that you find more fraud, you find more more like what's the word I'm looking for? Different types of crime that aren't as in your face. It's not that the police don't intercept those crimes. They're usually caught and prosecuted later, and you don't hear about them because it's not plastered in front of the news. And so it raises all these questions. All right, I'm going to flip through some more of this. So if anybody has anything else to jump in, anything on the article, whatever else, go ahead.
Yeah, the satellite section is pretty spooky too. Considering it says here that most of them are owned by private corporations. like Black Sky.
I mean, the unfortunate thing with the satellites is that there's nothing to prevent that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even if you put up a gigantic canopy to block the sky, they're going to see the canopy.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's nothing, and
Yeah.
and it's been that way. Satellites have been able to see this stuff for decades.
Mm-hmm.
Your only escape is a cave.
Yeah. In fact, here is a picture.
They're going to know you drove there.
Yeah. Here's a picture. In fact, from 1960 from a satellite imagery where you can very clearly see an airport. Now, a modern day satellite could make out, how many buildings are on this, are there planes on the runway? But we could always really check out this, and this is up here in Russia, right? So yeah, this stuff is been out there for a long time. So here's the part about Black Sky. So the idea here is that this sentient technology, it gathers data from satellites, it gathers data from your phones and your devices and your IoT stuff and your social accounts and all these type of places. The only thing that makes this a more scary or more frightening AI, in my opinion, is the vast amount of input sensors that it has. It can collect and utilize pretty much everything for its feedback. There's an oil tanker. That's from 2019.
Yeah, wasn't that the one that was just seized?
I think it said here's the one from June that they'd seen the black smoke from it and stuff with a satellite.
Yeah, the fascinating thing with all this satellite and all this grid, you'd think that one of these countries would have found something on that missing flight, It's like, how does a whole airplane just completely disappear when our entire upper atmosphere is totally surrounded by satellites? Can anyone say cover up? I mean, let's see.
Yeah, at what point do we start calling this stuff space junk?
Yeah, and I guess the next biggest concern is that this is a government project that's collecting all of this data, because there's got to be some constitutional running afoul in this, at least from the American perspective. Any thoughts on that?
Although what's funny about the constitutionality argument is that in some sense that corporations don't have to obey the Constitution. The government does.
Yeah, but everything is being fed into a government-owned database. It's one thing if a company collects all the data and stores it in their own database, and then, maybe the government uses third-party doctrine to snatch it out of that. That's one thing. But all this data is being fed directly into a government database specifically. That's where it runs afoul of the Constitution. But if it's the companies collecting the data and storing the data, that does not run afoul of the constitutional agreements. So.
Correct.
It never stops to amaze me how great lengths they go through to get around little things that protect us.
Yeah.
I mean, they must have some atrocious think tanks.
If does this sentence give anybody else some chills? Tentacles encircle the planet. The words "nothing is beyond our reach" smile in an arc below the cephalopod.
That sounds like Lovecraft.
Yeah. Maybe I should read the rest of that paragraph. What are we talking about here? Okay, it's a mission patch. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, with all this junk floating around up there, you think they would have solved the Loch Ness Monster and the Bigfoot thing years ago.
Well, all of a sudden, that's freaky. NROL 39, nothing is beyond our reach. A giant octopus basically eating the Earth. Well, that's exciting to know. If you're following your geography, he is officially eating the United States right now. It's just his tentacles are surrounding the rest of the country.
Eesh.
Yeah. National Reconnaissance Office. Yep. They launched their mission NROL-39 in December 2013. They didn't quite get the response they anticipated. Ready for launch. An Atlas V will blast off at just past 11 p.m. carrying a classified NRO payload. I can only imagine what people said about this. Like, what government agency put this together and thought that this would be a good logo for your mission?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Interesting.
They love to terrorize us.
All right. Let me go ahead and check in on some comments here. We don't want to forget our comments. All right. Let's see. Eel6, how's it going there? Pizza is installing OpenSUSE. Very cool. I'm curious as to what really is at Area 51. Oh, a lot of people, but the fact that it's probably the most protected place in America outside of maybe the White House indicates that it's probably yeah, we're not going to know for a while.
They have signs around that area that says lethal force is authorized,
Yep.
which means stay out.
Yep. You assume the government does or not already have this. Oh, no. They've been working on this program since the 70s, man. All right. AI was supposedly launched, given free reign earlier this year. That's exciting. Okay. How do we know if humans are sentient? Well, I don't know. I think, actually, I seem to think that many humans aren't. We're not really capable of questioning our own existence at this point. Welcome back. All right. Keegan, how's it going there, Keegan? All right. If it figures out we can be killed, we are in big trouble. Oh, boy. If it's a web surveillance system, among other things. The web isn't just YouTube, it's a tool. Yeah. Hello, Rosemary. How's it going there? Okay, modern world is overly dependent on technology. Yeah, I think that that's one of the biggest concerns is we allow too much technology into our life without actually stopping and thinking about it. Come on, kitty. Kitty's back from vacation, apparently. Come on. Come on. You can jump up if you want, but I'm not picking you up. All right. Kitty's going to be lazy. Sleepy Eyes Vince is, he's got the sniffles. Oh, no. Sorry, Sleepy. Get well, man.
Yeah, it's winter time where he's at.
Yep. All right, let's see. Okay, oh, terrible flu season over there. That's not good.
Ew.
What's that?
The flu season. I don't even want to think of that.
So, bias is built in the AI via the programmers, either intentional or unintentional. I don't know, what do we think? Is the bias built in intentionally or unintentionally, or should we take that as a project-by-project basis? What do you guys think?
It can be either. I mean, you can make an algorithm do whatever you want it to do, but your data can make it do that as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else?
Many times it is unintentional because programmers always do their own idiosyncrasies into a program. Even I'm pretty bad programmer, and you can see I have a lot of idiosyncrasies, my own biases, even in normal programs. That's a standard thing as a programmer. You will see in other people's programming and even in your own. That there are certain stuff you will live in a put in a certain way.
Yeah.
And when programming AI, that is even more apparent because that can have a real difference in how AI actually operates.
Yeah. I think it completely boils down to the person. A programmer with integrity is going to accidentally increase his biases, like you say. Somebody who actually does have evil or ulterior or whatever other motives could potentially introduce it on their own, and that's something to think about.
Yes.
Now that you got programmer fatigue and all the other stuff that programmers go through that causes issues with developing software as well.
Yeah, Maverick says Hail Hydra, which I guess
Hydra.
from Captain America, I guess that he says that the spy agency had an octopus and a skull as their logo.
Yeah, and one of the leaders was a computer in a movie.
Which one?
In the Captain America, the Winter Soldier, one of the leaders was a computer.
Oh, really? Yeah, I didn't get a chance to. I think I've watched it. I just didn't pay much attention to it, I think. Yeah, I realize they now have robots patrolling the North Korean border that can be put into automated mode. Oh, joy. That sounds exciting. Of course, you could always hack them, Okay. Thermite is a good start. Oh, boy. Fuss with the algorithms. Doesn't that skew the data? Yeah, you could definitely mess with algorithms. I mean, come on, I guess YouTube started pushing out a whole lot of children's shows this week, I guess? Or was it last month? I don't know. They rolled out some new algorithm and it started giving everybody a lot of children's shows or something. I haven't seen these show up in my feeds, but I don't know. Any guys see those?
Not really.
Yeah, they haven't appeared on any of my feeds.
Okay. First I heard about it, I was reading an article. I was like, that's interesting. But I haven't seen any of that. All right. Well, I guess that's kind of the end of the article that I want to mention. Does anyone have any closing thoughts on the article there?
I just have one other point of interest in the article that we didn't go over.
Yep.
Maybe 2/3 down the article, it talks about. I'll just read real quick. It says, you can imagine more sinister ones like software that has learned the word bomb is associated with terrorist plans, but never learns that that's the bomb is a chill phrase. Mm-hmm. There's some subtlety that AI training probably is really bad at.
Yeah, or I'm going to bomb my apartment because
sarcasm,
I got fleas, you know?
Yeah, satire, sarcasm, just simple trolling.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Microsoft is all about that, right? You guys remember Microsoft's AI?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Contextualization in AI is a real big problem. That's actually one of the main reasons why people want to create AI, to actually make computer contextualize. But that's a problematic thing to actually implement fully.
So for the benefit of people who do not realize who Tay is, who wants to tackle the brief overview of that thing? Or is that my job?
In one day, they made an AI do whatever they wanted. Basically, at one point, it liked Hitler.
Yeah, didn't they troll it so bad it started yelling obscenities at people?
Yes, yeah, basically Microsoft released Tay to Twitter as a Twitter bot. All of a sudden, thanks Microsoft, you're the reason that my corporate Twitter account's not getting affirmed. Anyway, but Twitter, Microsoft releases Tay, the Twitter AI bot, to it, and a whole lot of people decided to completely mess with this thing. And so they basically turned it into a white supremacist. So yeah, they had Microsoft had this white supremacist bot, and so they had to pull it out. It was basically screaming all sorts of fun things. In fact, on this Wikipedia article, let's see, I don't think this one's, let me see if I can actually find some of the I don't think Microsoft's actually going to publish those, but somebody might have the it's TAY, isn't it? Microsoft Tay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't say these words on my channel, but y'all can read the headlines if you want.
Yeah, those are great.
Post a link.
What's that?
I'll post the Gizmodo article that...
All right, cool. So here, Tay went from humans are super cool to full Nazi in less than 24 hours, and I'm not concerned about the future of AI.
It is the way they left it basically unchecked.
Yeah, so
they didn't give it any parameters of what to learn, how to learn. They just left it to whatever it was thrown at it.
And here's the problem with AI is those checks are the biases.
Yeah.
Here we're going to build. Okay, yeah. Let's see if there's more up here. Nope, that's not it. Yeah, there's some in the Gizmodo article that are good too. Yeah, so that's kind of the concern with having AI there. Not biased about bacon, even. I mean, anyone who's biased against bacon, I mean, they just need taken out back, you know. YouTube algorithm bias against conservative YouTubes. Yeah, that's true. Okay. What is Skynet? Excuse my ignorance. Skynet is the name of the sentient, self-aware AI robot in Terminator that, you know, nuked the planet via proxy.
That movie was really not a thing that will ever happen, like in any way.
I don't know. I
Because
mean, we can't predict what's going to happen. We really
yeah,
can't predict what's going to happen.
but really, if a really smart AI that would be a lot smarter than us actually existed, we wouldn't be able to. We wouldn't be able to even resist. If it would,
Okay. I see what you're saying. You're saying it's far
see
worse.
If it would see us as a threat to the planet, if it, let's say, we gave it a.
Oh, we lost you.
It's
We're losing you a little bit. Hold on, let's
all
try to get your connection back. Then.
if we give it a wrong type of task or a wrong, word it wrong, it will basically do what the task says. If we are a threat to planet, it will kill us, and we won't be able to stop it because it will happen in mere seconds.
Okay, so what you're saying then is Terminator gets it wrong and that there's a human resistance.
Terminator gets it wrong. No, not human resistance. My problem is with robots. Robots won't be a thing. It will be basically a poison probably, or something in the likes of poison, or some sort of human agent bomb. It will probably use human agents for its purposes.
Yeah.
Why make robots if it can use people, if it can use its enemies against themselves?
Yeah, I agree.
And probably such system can be unplugged because it's already so spread around the world. You cannot. It isn't a single computer you can unhook.
Yeah, it's kind of like Vicky and iRobot, right? Vicky's like, okay, you guys are the biggest threat to yourselves, so we're going to use my my robotic fleet, which is an extension of my brain, in order to control all humanity.
Something like that.
Something more like that. Okay.
Yeah,
Or
if it already had pre-existing robots, yes. But if it had to create new robots, probably it wouldn't create new robots. It just use human agents as its proxy.
Okay.
It would call someone on the phone and give him a task and say it will give him $1 million.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it would understand our greed. But at the end, it would kill him just the same as it would kill anyone else.
Yeah, very good. That's a contingency I never thought of. Dan, go ahead.
I don't even think it has to be actually a humanoid device, because we have so many computer servers all around the world and stuff like that, and they're all connected in multiple ways through the internet. I mean, all they got to do is alter some algorithms, launch some missiles, and away we go.
Yeah, distributed computing. That will be a thing.
You know, the computer's going to figure out the fastest way to eliminate us once they figure out that we are the big threat.
All right. So Sleepy Eyes Vince talks about this picture of someone who actually glued a picture to his face. I mean, come on, that sounds like a great thing to do. So let's see what we got. This one's neat. Look at this guy. He kind of looks like he glued his phone to his face. This guy's plan's better because it's like easily reversible. He's got himself a rubber band with his little phone. There you go. That is the early Bluetooth. Look at that. Of course, here's what happens if you're walking around and not paying attention. Let's see what else we got.
Oh my goodness.
Page 1 had some gems, but I'm not seeing a lot more. Yeah, page 1 had some gems, but... Okay, let's see. Don't give the AI any ideas. All right. We'll try not to.
Problem is, he would figure out all ideas, even if we didn't give him.
Yeah, that's the problem with AI. They are going to figure everything out.
And they'll be able to do it at blazing speeds.
Less than a second, it will be able to think thousands and thousands different scenarios.
Yeah. Every contingency. Tape a mobile phone to your head for 6 months. I bet you get a brain tumor. I mean, all the studies are done with low frequency, but if you actually read that little warning about the radiation, that's if you keep the phone, it's like a centimeter away from the body, not directly in your pocket, which is interesting. So if you had one of the old phone clips that attached to your belt, you're probably safe. But if we all walk around and start getting this massive increase in hip tumors, then we'll actually know for sure whether cell phones hurt us or not.
Although people walked around forever with a CD player, although those emit way different radiation patterns. But
yeah. All right. Well, I think what we're going to do is we'll do any final wrap-ups of this so I can get ready for the next stream and hang out with the supporters a little bit too. Let's see. So, anybody have any final words for everybody?
Surveillance. It's a very strong word. You can't outrun it. It's all around you. It's up in the sky. It's everywhere. That's just the world we live in these days. Skynet, maybe not today, could happen in the future. It all depends on how we lay down the cards with this stuff.
Yeah. And we got to be slow and retrospective, not dive into it. See who can get there first.
Yeah, this article says there's a number of private companies, like you stated earlier, that are involved in this. Let's hope that them private companies aren't just motivated by profit, but they're also motivated by morals.
All right, I guess Client brings up a very fascinating point. We do have a chance of beating the robots if we get cyborg implants. What do we think? Yes, no?
They'll get
If they're
hacked.
connected to internet, no.
Yeah,
If they are not connected to internet, great.
The AI will hack them.
Or,
I don't really want to turn myself into an IoT device.
But come on.
Maybe a nice arm. That would be great.
Get the Luke Skywalker hand.
$6 million man parts.
There you go.
It costs more than $6 million.
Yeah, it's $6 billion today.
Yeah. All right, kitty. I'm going to feed you, kitty. Don't go anywhere yet. We're going to feed the kitty. Let's go ahead and feed the kitty because the kitty's like, dude, man. All right, I just need a full, there you are. There's a full screen. Oh boy, kitty. Oh boy, kitty. You guys get your kitty treats. Oh boy, smell in the air. There you go. Do one more here. And let's do one more for the supporters on the other camera, okay? Oh, hold on. Where's my other camera? Oh, there we go. There you guys. You guys can see that kitty. There you go. Are they good? Yeah, they're finger licking good, aren't they? All right. All right. I will, of course, be doing my live stream on my other channel tonight. And we're going to be talking about the fall of Joshua Harris. He was a pastor who renounced the faith this last couple of weeks, which is very sad because he was one of the very biblically sound guys a number of years back. But we'll be talking about that 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's a little over an hour from now. Other final words, anybody?
Skynet's coming. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah.
There you go.
If handled correctly, this could actually be a good thing. But remember, it needs to be handled correctly, which I don't trust 99% of this planet.
Yes. As Sleepy Eyes Vince says, motivated by morons. Yeah, I see very few instances where it could turn out correctly, but I don't know.
There's just this massive grab for profit and get everything you can. And companies are like into the giant Me Too movement too.
And that's
and it
why...
outweighs
Go ahead.
it outweighs everything else. They don't care who they run over to get their money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's why it won't be done correctly.
Exactly.
I'm not even sure I would agree it would be done correctly, but that's me. Well, I'm sorry, I'm just showing myself. Let me turn everybody else back on. My apologies, guys. But yeah, there we are. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I could be swayed, I guess, but under what circumstance could we do it right?
Control the off switch.
Okay, a big pod. What are the circumstances where we could do it right?
Possibly teach it our way of morals, what we consider moral compass. We would have to teach it that. That's
well, we
why
have to agree on what a moral compass is for the human race first.
Yeah, that's true. But what normally drives us is not killing humans. That's our main moral compass. Most people consider that would be like the first point. That's one of the things you would need to understand to actually be a good thing.
But wrapped up in that one principle is exactly the 3 laws in iRobot, and those 3 laws were used to enslave the human race. So they won't kill us, we'll just be the slaves.
Yeah, it's not just that.
Oh no,
this is one of the stuff we have to teach it. Yeah. It's one of the parts we have to teach it. Then it's like, it's just one. We have to teach it more stuff, like don't enslave other people and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the problem is that from my perspective, humans are not inherently good. Humans are inherently evil, and we cannot even agree on what is moral and what is ethical. You know, when we never had to take ethics classes in college until I hit grad school. Grad school, we had to do some bioethics. Now you got to hit bioethics, or not bioethics, you got to hit ethics in like every college degrees now. All these talk about it. Everyone agrees we need ethics, but nobody can agree on whose ethics we need. And that's the central point that I don't ever see it, because the ethics of, take the 3 main religions of the world, the ethics of them all conflict. And so that is the 3 main thing. Now, do we need to be like Sargon of Akkad, just ban all religion? I don't think so, because then you have no central authority for what your ethics actually are. At least the 3 big religions, we have a central authority for what those ethics are. And that's kind of the argument I would make. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
While I'm not religious myself, I do think it's everybody's prerogative if they want to be religious or not. So even if they want to follow whatever moral compass that religion teaches, if it doesn't hurt other humans, then okay. But if you start hurting other humans because of their religion, then that religion shouldn't exist.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That'd be fine with me. All right. Any other?
I think I think a lot of our moral compass items do come out of religions. More or less, the the religions where you're not supposed to do bad things, kill humans and stuff like that. And that's how they've been passed down from generation to generation throughout the years.
Yes.
Now, it's really easy to take a human from a baby and raise him to be a cold-blooded killer all the way until he's a human, and that's all he's ever going to be because that's how he was raised. But
Right.
that's not our society and how it works.
Yeah. Yeah, and as Herb says, if you can't explain morals in if its understanding is just based on reason. Morality is beyond reason. What if it asks why? Uh-oh. The 3 laws have already been broken. Yep. All right. I think what we're going to do is we will wrap this one up. So thanks for jumping on, everybody. Also, thanks for jumping on Big Pod. It was great having another person here with some other ideas as well. Those great things to think about. So, and the rest of you guys, we will be back tomorrow with news, 9 o'clock as usual. And I have, of course, 9 o'clock tonight is on my Christian channel. I will be having a discussion on Joshua Harris. So thanks for coming along, and check out that other channel if you are so inclined to talk about those issues. And we will catch you guys later. Just waiting. You push the stop button too quickly, it hangs up, cuts the stream off. There we go.